It was just another Tuesday afternoon at the office when Emily's phone buzzed with a text message. She glanced at the screen and froze. The message was from an unknown number. "Your husband is cheating on you with your sister." Her heart skipped a beat. Who would send such a thing? Was it a prank? She tried to focus on her work, but the words kept echoing in her mind, sharp and relentless, cutting through the hum of the busy office around her. She decided to call Mark. Maybe he could explain, put her mind at ease. But his phone went straight to voicemail. She left a message, forcing her voice to stay steady. "Hey, just checking in. Call me when you can." The rest of the day dragged on, each minute heavier than the last. She couldn't concentrate. Her spreadsheets blurred, her emails sat unsent. Finally, she told her boss she wasn't feeling well and left early. As she drove home, her mind raced with possibilities. Mark and Sarah? It couldn't be true. They were family. When she stepped into the house, she heard laughter spilling from the kitchen. Mark and Sarah were there, cooking together. They looked so comfortable, so natural, as if this were their routine. A pang of jealousy twisted in her chest. "Hey, Em, you're home early." "We were just making dinner," Mark said, stirring a pot on the stove. "Yeah, I thought I'd surprise you both with my famous lasagna," Sarah added, flashing a bright smile as she chopped vegetables. "That's nice." "Thanks, Sarah," Emily replied, forcing a smile of her own. But inside, her stomach churned. During dinner, she watched them closely. Was there something in the way they interacted? A lingering glance when Sarah passed Mark the salt? A touch on his arm that lasted a fraction too long? She couldn't tell if she was imagining things or if the text had planted a seed of doubt that was already sprouting. After Sarah left, Emily tried to talk to Mark. "So, you and Sarah seem to be getting along well." "Yeah, she's great. It's nice to have her around," he said, his tone casual. "You two have been spending a lot of time together lately." "What do you mean? She's your sister. We just hang out sometimes." His voice sharpened, defensive, and that only deepened her unease. She let it drop for the night, but sleep wouldn't come. The text message haunted her, replaying in her head like a broken record. Over the next few days, Emily became hyper-aware of everything. She noticed Sarah's scarf draped over the couch, left behind from a visit. Mark came home late one evening with a faint scent of perfume clinging to his shirt. Floral, unfamiliar, not hers. One night while he was out, she gave in to her suspicions and searched his things. In the pocket of his jacket, she found a receipt from La Belle Époque, a fancy restaurant, dated for a Thursday he'd claimed he was working late. The bill was for two. When he got home, she confronted him. "Mark, where were you last Thursday night?" "I told you I was at work," he said, barely looking up from his phone. "Really?" "Because I found this receipt. Dinner for two at La Belle Époque." He hesitated, then stammered, "Oh, that. I took a client out for dinner. You know, to discuss business." "A client? What was her name?" "It was a him, actually. Mr. Johnson from the accounting firm." His eyes darted away, and she knew he was lying. But she had no proof, yet. She needed to be certain before she accused him of the unthinkable. So she set a trap. She told Mark she had to go to a conference in another city for the weekend. He seemed relieved, almost too eager to agree, which only fueled her suspicions. Instead of leaving town, she checked into a hotel nearby. That night, she drove back to the house, parking a block away and walking the rest of the distance to avoid being seen. As she approached, she saw Sarah's car in the driveway. Her heart sank, a cold weight settling in her chest. She used her key to enter quietly, tiptoeing through the darkened hallway. From upstairs, she heard them, muffled voices, soft laughter, the intimate tones of two people who thought they were alone. Rage and sorrow surged inside her, battling for dominance. She took a deep breath and pushed open the bedroom door. "What the hell is going on here?" she shouted, her voice cracking with fury. Mark jolted upright, shock widening his eyes. "Emily, you're supposed to be at the conference." "Em, it's not what it looks like," Sarah cried, clutching the sheets to her chest, her face flushed with panic. "Not what it looks like? You're in my bed with my husband." Emily's words trembled, but they cut through the air like a blade. The confrontation was chaos. Mark begged for forgiveness, his voice desperate. "Emily, please, let me explain. It was a mistake. I love you." Sarah sobbed, her apologies tumbling out. "I'm so sorry, Em. I never wanted to hurt you." But their words were hollow, meaningless against the weight of the betrayal. Emily's world had shattered, and no amount of pleading could piece it back together. "Get out," she said, her voice low and final. "Both of you." Mark tried to stay, reaching for her, but she shook him off. Sarah gathered her things and fled, tears streaming down her face. That night, Emily packed a bag and left too, driving to her friend Lisa's house. Lisa opened the door without a word, pulling her into a hug as Emily broke down, the sobs she'd held back finally spilling free. "You deserve better than this, Em," Lisa said later, pouring her a cup of coffee. "You need to think about what's next." Over the next few weeks, Emily filed for divorce. Mark called, texted, even showed up at Lisa's doorstep, pleading for another chance, but she couldn't forgive him. Sarah reached out too, her voicemails filled with apologies, but the sister Emily had once trusted was gone, replaced by a stranger she couldn't bear to face. The divorce was finalized 6 months later. Emily moved into a small apartment of her own, started therapy, and began the slow, painful work of rebuilding her life. It wasn't easy. The sting of betrayal lingered, a quiet ache that surfaced in lonely moments. But she found strength she hadn't known she possessed. She threw herself into her career, made new friends, and cautiously learned to trust again. One day, months later, she met someone kind, steady, who showed her what real love and respect felt like. They'd walk together in the park, talking about everything and nothing, and she'd feel a flicker of hope, a promise of something better. Looking back, the pain of that betrayal had shaped her, carved deep lines into her heart. But it didn't define her. She emerged stronger, wiser, ready to embrace a new chapter, one where she was the author of her own story.